Is this the ultimate EV charger? For years, we've been searching for the EV charger that does it all. Looks great, amazing build quality, and works with all the best smart tariffs. But with every EV charger that I've reviewed, I've always been left a little bit frustrated. There's always something missing. But Hypervolt have just released some massive product updates, which I believe might tick all the boxes and make this the perfect EV charger on the market today. So in this video, I'm going to go deep into each of those new updates and reveal why this charge point is leaving other brands in the dust. So we're just putting some finishing touches in on this install. It's nearly finished. Let me show you what we've done here, because that will put a bit of context behind what we're trying to achieve with the Hypervolt. So we've installed on this new garage, which is an extension, 6 Viridian in-roof solar panels. We've installed 2 Tesla Powerwalls in here. We've installed this brand new garage board, which has the circuits for the Tesla Powerwalls, the circuit for the solar PV and the Hypervolt, a circuit for sockets and lights, and we've done a future circuit with a Type B RCD ready for a heat pump, which is going to be installed in the coming months. Now, we've used M-phase microinverters on the panels on the roof here, and that's because there is a bit of shading, and it's a small system anyway, so we really wanted to maximize the output of this system, and we're doing everything we can to get the most out of it. Now, I can't claim any of the glory for this job. The guys have all done it without me, and they've done a fantastic job. But what I'm here to do today is the finishing touches with the Hypervolt, which includes adding a second CT, which is something that we've not done before. And the reason for this second CT is to enable a new feature that Hypervolt have just rolled out called battery safe mode. Enables you to connect a second CT in here to the little CT connection port here. Usually we just use this one for the grid, but we're going to put a second CT in there. That is going to go around our AC coupled battery system and is going to prevent the Hypervolt from draining the batteries. Because what you don't want, and for 95% of people this is the case, you don't want your EV battery to get charged from your home batteries. And I'll explain why in a moment. So we've got 2 Tesla Powerwall 2s here that we've installed, total of 27 kilowatt hours of usable storage capacity. But the problem when you've got stationary storage in your home and you're trying to charge an EV is that most EV chargers won't differentiate between solar power and battery power, and there's a risk that you can dump the power from your home batteries into your car. And these batteries, compared to a 70 kilowatt hour EV battery, they're not even going to touch the edges when it comes to taking all that power into your car. You might get 20% charge and you'll overcycle your batteries. So Hypervolt have included this very special new feature called battery safe mode, which we're going to set up now with an additional CT. Let me show you how it works. So here's our second CT. Now you do have to order these separately, so just remember that if you're doing a Hypervolt with a battery storage install that is AC coupled, you need to order one of these, and it comes with this little clip as well here. So what we're going to do is we're going to wire our second pair from our EV Ultra cable. Now this is what we use as standard EV Ultra, which is basically a power cable with a data cable built into it as well. It's pretty magical stuff. So it's got a Cat 5 built into it, and it enables us to run all of the data that we need for the charger, so like hardwired Ethernet and CT connections, as well as the power, all in one lovely neat cable like this. So I'm just going to wire this pair into the little connector here. So I've wired that, and now all it does is plugs into this second CT connection here. Now I've got a question for you, dear viewers. Are you a subscriber or not? The reason I ask is that I've recently noticed at about 70 to 80% of our viewers have not yet hit the subscribe button. And that's because a lot of people come to our channel for the first time, and maybe for you, this is the first video you're watching of ours. Well, if it is, just let me tell you that it's really worth your while to hit that subscribe button, because we do lots of renewable energy installations, EV chargers, solar, battery storage systems. We do videos trying to demystify the whole thing, and we show real world installs to help you as a customer or an installer learn more about what's out there. So it'll be really worth your time to hit a subscribe button, and it's a really nice indication from us as a team that you value the content that we create. Now here's where the fun part is. So at the consumer unit end, where the AC connection is for our batteries, is where we need to fit this CT. But because we've got two batteries, we're going to need to fit this around both of the line conductors for the two batteries, so that it's reading the net input or output of both batteries. So we've got our two battery breakers next to each other here. However, the line conductors are a little bit apart, so we're going to have to pull those up and get them together. I'm going to hoik them up slightly higher here, and then put the CT around both of them here. And then here is our EV Ultra cable with our pair for the batteries. So this is the green pair. Now I chose green because it's like nice renewable colors. So we'll strip that back, and then we're going to connect the CT on to those wires there. So I've got my CT in place for the batteries. It needs to face the direction of the batteries. So power flow as if it would go towards the batteries to charge the batteries essentially. So that's something that's good to remember. So we're going to turn the Powerwalls back on. Check if it all works. Now, one of the biggest things that's been missing for a while, and people have been begging for it every time we've done a video about Hypervolt, they've been like, but smart tariff integration, particularly Octopus Intelligent Go. If you've got an EV, one of the massive benefits is that reduced cost of running a vehicle by being able to charge up on really cheap tariffs like Octopus Intelligent Go, which basically allows you to control, or Octopus, your energy provider, to control when your vehicle is charged, and therefore allow you to charge it at rock bottom prices. Often overnight on the cheap window, you can charge your car for 7p per kilowatt hour. But the issue is you need a charger or a vehicle that is compatible to talk to that tariff through the Octopus API, and they use a system called Kraken now. That's their kind of software division. Same with other smart tariffs like OVO Charge Anytime. And Hypervolt have been saying for a while that they're working on it, but finally it's here. So this charger now, I can set it up with our customer's Octopus app, and they'll talk to each other, which means no matter what vehicle he's got, even if it's a non-Octopus compatible vehicle, the charge point will be synced with Octopus Intelligent Go. He'll have access to that super cheap tariff and be able to save thousands potentially on his energy. In fact, Hypervolt have done some calculations, and they say you can save over £1,000 a year by having that integration. Now, one benefit of having the Octopus integration into the EV charger rather than the car itself is you can charge multiple cars on that cheap overnight tariff. Whereas if you were just pairing it with the vehicle, you can only charge that one vehicle. So for example, if you've got a Hypervolt and you've got two EVs, you can charge them both using Octopus Intelligent Go, saving a massive amount of money for your household. And imagine you've got friends staying over, or maybe there's an Airbnb or something like that that you're running with an EV charger and you want to get as cheap as possible charging. Having a Hypervolt linked to that smart tariff is a game changer. I think we've figured out a little hack, right? So imagine your EV is already fully charged. You're on Octopus Intelligent Go and you want to benefit from that cheap rate electricity for the rest of your house. We've got this device which allows us to test EV charging points, and it has a CP state setting which will basically tell the charging point that there is a vehicle connected. So what we can do is activate the charging point so it now thinks that there's a vehicle charging, and then in theory if we leave it like that, it should kick in Octopus Intelligent Go to start charging the car even though there's no car plugged in, and all the rest of the house would benefit. Now, I don't know if I'm speaking complete rubbish here and that wouldn't work, but our cameraman just came up with the idea and I thought I'd share it with you. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. But talking about that, this is the advantage of having battery storage and an intelligent home EV charger. Because now what our customer can do is get his Hypervolt connected to Octopus Intelligent Go and giving him that cheap rate of energy, but then he can program his Tesla batteries to charge up at the same time as that cheap rate slot, and therefore benefit from 7p per kilowatt hour energy to fill up his batteries and then discharge those batteries steadily throughout the day to run his entire house on super cheap energy. And this is why that battery safe thing is so important. What we want to do is force charge the batteries at the same time as charging the EV. And these batteries, currently Tesla doesn't have direct Octopus integration. I think that that's coming soon, which will be great. But at the moment, what you could do is automatically schedule your Tesla batteries to force charge between 11:30 and 5:30 every day. That is the standard Octopus Intelligent Go slot that you will always get at that cheap rate, and then that will allow you to make the most of that tariff as long as you've got your EV charging overnight.
Battery safe mode also works with DC coupled batteries connected to hybrid inverters, and you don't even need to add a second CT.
Now, we've done a hardwired Ethernet connection for this because the Wi-Fi signal was a little bit weak, so that's there, and you can do that with 4 wires. So 4 of your wires out of your twisted pair within the EV Ultra, 2 of the pairs essentially, can be used. You use pins 1, 2, 3 and 6, and then you can hardwire the Ethernet, but you've still got 4 pairs free for your 2 CTs, so you don't need a separate data cable. But this is something that I'm super excited about. Remember we did a video about 9 months ago where I said that captive screws were coming? Because I had given feedback to Hypervolt about the fact that the screws fall out and you lose them in the gravel driveway or whatever. Well, they have implemented the captive screws feature, which I really appreciate, so thank you, Hypervolt. And yes, Soter Electrical, I have finally got myself a proper Allen key screwdriver for the Hypervolts. And the sun's come out just in time for us to charge the vehicle on pure sunshine. Now we've got about 2 kilowatts coming from our solar because it is only a small solar array, and normally if we weren't using battery safe mode, the batteries would be emptying power into the vehicle, but that's not happening because of this new update from Hypervolt, which is awesome. Now there's a couple of other things that I want to speak to you about. Let's go inside. So we're going to add the device in the Octopus app now. We go to devices and click add device, and then we select chargers, get started. Then we choose Hypervolt, and as you can see it's there available in beta, and it says to get set up you'll need to plug your car in at home, make sure your charge limit is above your current charge so there's room to perform a test charge, deactivate any other smart charging apps or devices that currently control your car's charge, get started. So we've added our Hypervolt Home 3 Pro in the Octopus app, we've put which car model we've got, and we're ready to do a test charge, but we need to link it to our Hypervolt app now. So we're going to click connect device, go to our Hypervolt login. This is going to take us to our Hypervolt account. Now there's more good news because Hypervolt have just released version 6 of the app, and it's a brand new user interface. It looks beautiful and it's a real step up from the previous version. But not only that, but they're rolling it out now to be available in all the best wholesalers, which makes it even easier for us as installers to get their hands on this amazing product. So the question is, with all of these changes that I've talked about, is this the ultimate EV charger? I've got to say, I think it is. With the Octopus and OVO smart tariff integration, with the new app, the second CT, battery safe mode, and all of these other little changes, especially the captive screws, I just think that now this charger ticks all of the boxes. And that really is a statement coming from me. So, if you haven't tried installing these yet and you're an installer, why not give it a go and make the Hypervolt your next go-to choice for EV chargers? And if you're a customer and you're looking for a great EV charger, I would wholeheartedly recommend the Hypervolt Home 3 Pro as one of, if not the best EV charger on the market today. And we've fitted a lot of them. But either way, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have, there'll be 2 more popping up on the screen now that YouTube thinks you might enjoy.